Welcome back, friends. Today we're diving into what could be the most significant camera leaks of 2025. And no, this isn't just another refresh or minor update. What we're looking at is a potential shift in the way creators, from photographers to filmmakers, work with Sony gear. We're talking about not one, but two major releases that are shaping up to drop in the coming months. The highly anticipated Sony A7V mirrorless camera, and a brand new Sony 100mm f2.8 GM macro prime lens. Now, if you've been following the rumor circuit, you know whispers of both these products have been circulating for months. But recently, the leaks have gotten consistent. Multiple credible industry insiders, leakers, and even retailers hinting at listings suggest we are weeks away from official announcements. But instead of rattling off a simple rumor recap, I want to go much deeper here. We're going to break down the leaked specs and features of both the Sony A7V and the new 100mm f2.8 GM macro lens. How these new tools fit into Sony's alpha ecosystem and strategy for 2025. What real improvements we can expect compared to the A7 IV, A7 III, and other models. How Sony stacks up against Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, and Fujifilm in the competitive mid-range full-frame market. Who these products are really for, and whether they're worth adding to your kit bag this year. By the end, you'll know exactly whether the Sony A7V or the 100mm f2.8 GM macro deserves a spot in your lineup. The lens comes first, Sony's 100mm f2.8 GM. Macro, let's start with the lens. Because if leaks are accurate, Sony plans to reveal the new 100mm GM macro before unveiling the A7V body itself. That might sound unusual, but there's a strategy here. More on that in a moment. Why a new 100mm macro? You might be wondering, doesn't Sony already have a 100mm? And yes, they do. The Sony FE 100mm f2.8 STF GM OSS, which launched back in 2017. That lens gained a cult following, thanks to its apodization filter that produced silky smooth, painterly bokeh. It became a portrait shooter's dream, particularly for those who loved background separation with a unique look. But here's the catch. It wasn't a true macro lens. The STF design limited close-up capabilities. It was more of a creative portrait lens with built-in defocus control than a serious tool for insect, product, or nature macro photography. For years, Sony users have been vocal. They wanted a dedicated professional macro prime in the mid-telephoto range. And finally, in 2025, it looks like Sony is answering that call. Leaked specs. Sony 100mm f2.8 GM. Macro, here's what multiple leaks and insider reports suggest. Focal length, 100mm, a sweet spot for both macro and portraiture. Maximum aperture, f2.8, bright, versatile, and excellent in low light. Series, G Master, meaning Sony's top-tier build quality, coatings, and optical precision. True macro, 1:1 magnification. Unlike the STF version, this one's built for serious close-up work. Autofocus, dual linear motors for fast, silent, and precise AF in both stills and video. Optical quality. Based on Sony's GM track record, expect corner-to-corner sharpness, minimal chromatic aberration, excellent color accuracy, and strong flare resistance. Why this lens matters for portrait shooters? The 100mm focal length is a dream. It gives you flattering compression and more separation than an 85mm, but without the extreme narrowing of a 135mm. For macro photographers, this could be the ultimate hybrid lens, capable of everything from flower and insect close-ups to jewelry and food photography, all while doubling as a premium portrait option. This also signals something bigger: Sony's lens strategy in 2025. Over the last 2 years, we've seen Sony systematically update older GM lenses with improved coatings, lighter builds, and faster motors. This isn't just about filling a gap. Sony is setting a new benchmark for macro primes in the mirrorless era. The main event, Sony A7V now. Let's shift to the camera body everyone's been waiting for. The Sony A7V. The Sony A7 IV launched in late 2021 and quickly became one of the most popular hybrid cameras of the last generation. It was the go-to for YouTubers, wedding shooters, travel vloggers, and enthusiasts, balancing professional features with a relatively affordable price point. But fast forward 4 years, and the game has changed. competitors have raised the bar. Canon released the EOS R6 Mark II. Nikon's Z6 III is winning praise for its stacked sensor and AF performance. Panasonic's S5 II and S5 IIX finally brought phase detect AF, fixing their biggest weakness. To stay ahead, Sony needs to deliver a camera that doesn't just keep up. It has to set the standard. And that's exactly what the leaks suggest the Sony A7V will do. Leaked Sony A7V specs. Here's what's being whispered. New sensor, a 33MP full-frame sensor, not recycled from older models, but a brand new design with improved dynamic range, low light sensitivity, and faster readout for video. AI-powered autofocus. Borrowed from the A7R V and A1, with subject recognition for humans, animals, birds, cars, planes, and even insects. Autofocus reliability is rumored to be one of its headline features. Body and ergonomics. Redesigned closer to Sony's flagship bodies, with a deeper grip, improved buttons, and better weather sealing, electronic viewfinder, a 5.0M dot. EVF, a massive upgrade over the A7 IV's 3.7M dot EVF. This alone makes it feel more pro. Video capabilities, 4K up to 120 FPS, 10-bit 4.22 internal recording, advanced heat management for longer shoots. Price, expected at $2,903,000 USD. Pricier than the A7 IV, but significantly cheaper than the A7R V or A1. Why the delay? So why did it take Sony nearly 4 years to release the A7V? Insiders say it wasn't about technical hurdles. The camera has reportedly been ready for some time. Instead, the delay came from global supply chain issues, trade policies, and strategic timing. By holding off, Sony let rivals reveal their hands first, positioning the A7V to launch into a market it can dominate. Where the A7V fits in Sony's lineup, Sony's alpha lineup can get confusing. So let's simplify it. A1, the flagship, 50mm, global shutter, ultimate speed and versatility. A9 III, sports monster, first with stacked global shutter A7R V, resolution king, best for landscapes. Studio, detail-heavy work. 7S III, low light and video specialist, 12MP sensor optimized for cinema A7 IV, the hybrid mainstream workhorse at 33MP A7. The new hybrid sweet spot, replacing the A7 IV and appealing to a massive range of creators. In other words, the A7V is designed to be the people's choice camera, more pro than the A7 IV, but without the premium price tag of Sony's elite models. The market context, why the A7V matters in 2025, let's zoom out. The mid-range full-frame space is the most competitive battleground right now. Canon EOS R6, Mark II, hugely popular hybrid, though Canon's limited third-party lens support is frustrating for many. Nikon Z6 III, excellent stacked sensor, fast AF. Nikon is regaining serious market traction. Panasonic S5 II, S5 IIX, phase detect AF finally makes them contenders for hybrid creators. Fujifilm, X-H2S, X-H2, crop sensor. Yes, but they offer incredible video and unique color science at a lower price. Sony knows that if it wants to stay on top in 2025, the A7V has to deliver big. Who should buy the A7V? The Sony A7V isn't for everyone. Here's who it's perfect for. Wedding photographers. Excellent balance of resolution, speed, and low light performance. Videographers and YouTubers, 4K 120p, 10-bit color, AI tracking, a dream for content creators. Travel photographers, smaller than the flagship A1, but still insanely capable. A7 III upgraders. If you're still on the A7 III, this will feel like a night and day leap forward. Who probably shouldn't buy it? Those who already own the A7R V or A1. You already have more specialized higher-end tools. Sony's bigger strategy for 2025, when you put the A7V and 100mm f2.8GM macro side by side, you see Sony's direction clearly. AI autofocus everywhere, making shooting easier, faster and more reliable. Refinements in ergonomics, addressing long-standing complaints about Sony's button layouts and grip, lens, lineup gaps filled, especially in macro, and specialty optics. Balancing price to performance, so that mid-range shooters feel like they're getting flagship features without paying. 6,000 played this could easily be the year that cements Sony's dominance. In the hybrid camera market, final thoughts: the Sony A7V is shaping up to be the go-to hybrid camera of 2025. Whether you shoot weddings, YouTube content, travel, or just want to upgrade from an older Alpha, this looks like the model that balances performance, value, and reliability.